Hi, in this video we'll see how to work in Visual Studio 2019 environment. Let's start by creating a new project. Now to create a new project, it's quite simple. You launch Visual Studio 2019 and then in case if you get the wizard window, you may just close it or just stay a bit. We're going to be there soon. So click on File, New, and then go to Project. Now for those who got the wizard window already opened, so now you may continue with us. Okay, so now assuming that I'm going to create Windows form, the traditional or the legacy system for Windows application, then you may click, or at least here you can go and filter out the templates for these projects Visual Studio offers you. Then here you choose the favorite language. In my case, I'm working on C# and the platform is Windows. And now here you choose what type of project you are interested to work on. So you choose desktop. Now you choose desktop and then you will get several templates for different types of project. We are interested in Windows Forms apps, which is .NET Framework. And by the way, there are two templates, one for .NET Framework and the other one is for .NET Core. So after I select the template of the project that I'm interested to work on, then you click Next. Now you come here to the project name and solution name and location and the framework that you are going to work on. Now for project name and solution name, usually they just been given the same name. If you are interested to change, then it's up to you. Usually the solution simply is the container which contains one or more projects. Okay, so in this case, if you like, you may give another name for the solution. And here is the project that now I'm creating, which is Windows Forms app. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything. And then you go to click on Create. Now, once you're done, here is my application or my project is ready, up and ready, or at least is ready by Visual Studio. Now there are a few windows. It's good to know about. Those are the basic or the most important ones that you need to be familiar with. The first one is Solution Explorer. So Solution Explorer simply, it shows you all the files that is related or that are related to your project. So now since I have one project, so you see that I have my solution with one project inside, which is Windows Forms App 2. Now inside Solution Explorer, so you have all the files that is related to your project. So I have program.cs, so this is the main file inside your project. This contains the main method, so try not to mess with it unless you understand what you are doing. So when you launch your application, main method will be executed, and then from here, your form will be called. Okay? So as I said, don't mess with this one, just keep it as it is. Now you have form 1. Form 1 simply was created by Visual Studio. This is my main form that is going to be or to appear on the screen when I launch my application. Okay, I have also app config. This is for the configuration for your project. For example, you may add here connection string if you link your project with the database. Now the references section is where all the DLL files that your project are going to utilize or may utilize are already linked and added under the references section. And this is all done by Visual Studio. And finally, the properties where you have a few files, the assembly info, which includes information like the assembly title, assembly product, copyright, and etc. You may also specify the version here as well. We have the resources. Resources is about where you can, in this case, we have only string value. Okay, so here where you define your string values. Okay, so in case you would like to have your project supports multiple languages, so here is a place you may be interested to look into. Okay, settings, just keep it as it is. No need to do any changes Okay. Now for forms, in order to go back, just you double click on form1.cs. If you expand form.cs, there's the designer file, so you no need to mess with this file. Actually, this all contains this one, any components, any visual aid or components that reside on your form, so no need to mess with it. Actually, Visual Studio, when you drag and drop any tools, so Visual Studio will take care of that. Okay, again, unless you know what you are doing, so you may go into this file. Otherwise, just you may interested to stay in form.cs. And here is the design mode. Now, if you need to switch to the code, view code behind this form.cs, it's not the designer one. Designer one, as I said, it's only related for the visual components. But if you need to go to the CS, to write the C# code that is related to you as a developer, where you are mostly interested to go into, so you right click on the form any place and then click view code, or just click F7. Okay, so this is for Solution Explorer. Now Solution Explorer, if in case it doesn't appear in your Visual Studio, that's not a big deal. Just go to the view menu and click on Solution Explorer. Okay, now the other important menu or window, since we are talking about Windows Form, which is Toolbox. So Toolbox contains all the visual components that you may interested to use in your system. So for example, we have button, okay, and it's easy to use, just drag and drop. So you have the button, you have checkbox, for example. You may also add label if you need to have a text box. Okay. Also rich text box. This is also another option if you are interested, like to build something similar to the notepads, then this is a good the difference is this supports, it's more rich to support text writing. Okay, so here if you like to have multiple lines and do more than what text box is capable of, then you can think of rich text box. But anyway, also the text box, you may have it supporting multiple lines anyway, but this is more rich to work with text. Progress bar, okay, this is also interesting one to have, and so on. Okay, now in order to launch your application, so you need to go to the debug menu and then click start without debugging, or the shortcut, just click or press Ctrl plus F5. Okay, so here we go. I have my application up and running. Of course, there is no programming taking place, so nothing will happen, for example, when I press on the button. Okay. So now let's continue looking to other windows. Okay, so now we've seen Solution Explorer and Toolbox. Now another important window, which is Properties. Okay, so Properties simply will show you any related information or values related to the component that you are working on inside the form. So now simply, if you check here, you will see that I have now the properties is pointing to form 1. Now, if you need to navigate to other components, just simply you can click on the combo box here, which is one way, which I don't use commonly. It's not preferable for me, at least. So another easy way to work on, simply just go to the form and click on the component that you like to work on its properties. So just you may click and then press F4 in case properties window doesn't appear, and then here we go. Okay, and same, now I'm working on checkbox and etc. For example, progress bar. Now if I go to value and set 60%, now you see that how the value takes effect, the changes takes effect on the component. Okay, so this is in regards to the properties. Of course, there is also another section in properties window which is related to events. So now here in events you will see all the actually rich events, a lot of events available for you where you can choose to work on to control the execution of your system. So for example, if I go to button, then most likely I will work on click event, or you may also be interested to work on the mouse events like mouse down or mouse up or mouse move. So mouse down, simply when you click on the button before you release the left button of the mouse, then mouse down will take place. Mouse up is just the opposite of mouse down, where I release when I click, when I press down, and only when I release the left button of the mouse, then mouse up will take effect. Now here also you have a window for description. Okay, so when you choose mouse down, you're not sure what this is about, then you can check the description little box here down, where it tells you what each event these are about. Okay, so this is in relation to the properties. The last window I like to point out, which is also important, which is error list. So error list, as the name indicates, this will show you any existing error in your application. So now you see here, for my project, I have 0 errors and 0 warnings. So the difference, 0 errors, means there's no obstacle that prevent me from running my application correctly. Okay, so errors are the more serious one, while warnings are just warnings for you that you may take action or not. It depends on you, but for errors you have to, there's no other option. Otherwise, the latest changes you have done on your project won't be reflected on the binary version of your executable file. Okay, so this is in relation. This is a little start to get familiar about Visual Studio and how to work on.